is the next race that is heading out onto the circuit. And, well, we have to take a reminder of what happened earlier on, because all the way throughout the juniors, they have had some pretty challenging races, didn't they? There were up and downs, there were back and forths as the whistle blows and the engines fire up. Let's take you through that full starting lineup. On the previous race earlier on for the class, Archie Owen and Aston Sharp finished 5th and 7th from their front rows. Hopefully this time around they can get a better getaway. Nicholas Garcia and Harrison Mackie go from row number 2. They'll have Alex Pineda and Samuel Woolley, who finished P2 in his race earlier on behind Mackie. Daniel Kelleher and Matteo Mellis go from row 4. They'll have Senna Meunier and Alexis Jonalet on row 5. They'll have Jagrat de Troja, who hopefully this time around will get started in this race. He had a DNF earlier on. Alex Martinez joining him alongside on row number 6. George Edgar and Jose Bautista go from row 7. They'll have Scott Riley and Zach Green on row number 8. Jorn Helder and Dario Misford will go from row number 9.
Riley Cranham will need another big drive from the 10th row of the grid. Is joined by Vanessa Shilkinator for this one. Vivienne Grionnet starts on row 11 alongside Ecuador's Gustavo Vargas. Toby Gale and Leonidas Peruzzi go from the 12th row of the grid. They're ahead of Jaime Del Portillo and Caden Higgins on row 13. Matteo Perucio's had a tough week so far. Starts on row 14 for this one alongside Joachim Asklund. Nikita Nikashov and Max Alerts go from row 15. Evan Johnston and Jan Rodriguez on row 16. Katrina E and Daniel Sear completes the 17th row. 34 runners in this one. Start of the second round of heats for X30 Junior.
Well, as they get themselves primed and ready, this is our first time we've got a replay of a class back out. This is the second time we see the juniors out on circuit. So this is, again, an interesting time to see how they fared from their first race. Are the results that we saw earlier on from these drivers going to happen again? Are we going to see a big shake-up? We saw Mackie and Pineda take the wins. Is that going to be the case in this one? I mean, one of those drivers is about to lose their first race of the weekend. Yeah. And when you say it like that, it sounds a bit disheartening a little bit, doesn't it? But both of them could be about to lose their first race of the weekend.
I was going to say, you've just stolen the words out of my mouth. I'm going to go even more negative. It could be both of them that don't have good ones here. Look, it's still the very early stages.
Very.
It's about keeping yourself as high up the order as long as possible, you know, trying to take care of your materials as well across the course of these rounds. Not doing anything silly. I mean, in the words of Ashton Sharp, don't crash.
Exactly.
So we'll go into the tram lines. Are we good for a start this time? Yes, we are. 7 laps underway for X30 Junior. Good start for Archie Owen. Defends from the outside line. It's been a good start for Garcia as well. Garcia immediately up to second place. Aston Sharp shuffled down to 4th by Harrison Mackie. Mackie's having a look down the inside of Garcia into turn 4. Are they all going to make it through? No. One's round towards the back. There's a couple of drivers running off wide to drivers left out of turn number 4. Someone's got a loose bumper at the back of the field as well through the dust and clouds. Couldn't quite make out who that was, but good, solid start for Archie Owen, as down the inside goes Mackie. Beautiful move on the brakes, block pass through past Garcia. Mackie up to P2.
Yeah, and again, it's what Mackie does at this early stage. He finds the gap, he goes for it, he doesn't waste time. He wants that clean air in the early stages to try and close into anyone who has tried to break away right at the start of this one. And you can already see he's dropped the driver behind. Now immediately chasing Archie Owen in front here, and look at the slipstream, look at the power difference here. Down the start-finish straight, no time wasted whatsoever. I mean, Archie Owen looked like he was standing still there on the start-finish straight.
At the same time, though, if you're Archie Owen, you know the form that Harrison Mackie is in. It's maybe not the worst thing to just sit behind the number 1 carts for the next lap or so and see if the tour de force that is that Fusion Motorsport machine just pulls him along a little bit. There is a proper breakaway forming now of this top 3 ahead of Alex Pinheiro in 4th. It's also been a very good start for the number 29 of Martinez, as down the inside goes Garcia for P2. That's another nice move, very similar to what we saw Mackie do to Garcia 1 lap ago. Nice and controlled, clinical overtaking there from the Birole Artis Spaniard in kart number 44. Looking a little further down the order, other good starts. Jorn Helder is up 6 spots to 11th. Riley Cranham up 5 spots to 14th. Toby Gale as well, up 8 spots and into the top 15.
Well, let's see if that slipstream effect can help out those 2 drivers behind. Look at the closing distance here and look at them go into maybe turn number 2. Are we going to see a lunge? And the answer to that is no. Now, that is interesting because you would think with the pace that Mackey's got in the infield section, they would want to make sure that he's behind in that section because then he can't break away in that one, and then they just stuck in a loop where the slipstream doesn't work down the start-finish straight because, yes, it closes, but they don't have the gap to then go for the move.
Yeah.
So I strike it strange that they didn't go straight away for the attack there to try and keep Mackey at bay as much as they can in this race. Yes, there's a risk with doing that. It brings everyone else behind. Kelleher, Martinez, Pinheiro, Woolley, Senna, De Troja, who are battling. Zach Green, who's there inside the top 10 now as well. But this is so much closer that Aaron Garcia has been in this, Diaz Garcia, I should say, Nicolas Garcia, I should say. But just pushing his way through, I reckon this time it could be an overtake, or again, he's just trying to work with Mackey to try and break away.
But this is where I think the work that that both of the Mackeys and Fusion Motorsport have done this year has been so good that racecraft-wise, I'm sure that they'll have had a little think about setup and know that Harrison's been himself so clinical in getting to the front of the order. That's what's the best way of defending? Having the fastest missile in the straight line in underneath you. And that's what Harrison Mackey's got right now. That even though he hasn't got a slipstream, we saw this in qualifying yesterday as well. We must remember that whilst he wasn't on overall pole position, he had no toe. The fact he's already up into that P4 region within his group indicates that this kart has been set up for straight line speed. For these situations here, when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 karts behind, all wanting to get through, as Jan Rodriguez is being shown the investigation flag for something that's happened out there. It's very clever race engineering by Fusion Motorsport. Look at the power that he's got coming out of the corner and what they've done with the setup of the powertrain. That at the moment it really does look like none of the competitors behind can do anything about it.
No, exactly. I mean, they're going to fight for second place. That's risky to do. Archie Owens got back there into second place because now at the start of this lap, where we know that even the pace and the tight and twisty sections for Mackey, again, he's managed to break away even more now. Yeah. That could be him done. Yeah. Now, that overtake, that might have been it for it. But Zach Green now the fastest lap of the race. He's made his way up into 8th place now, so he's slowly pushing his way through. So the battle for second place is most definitely on. Martinez right there, now going to look to the inside. That's signed, sealed and done. That's it. That's sorted it out then. Mackey's got this. If they can't get that slipstream on that start-finish straight this time around, the fight for second place is going to be the highest these drivers are going to be going for.
It's really interesting to me, the psychology of this kind of race, because I do wonder, in this chasing pack, is there almost a resignation to fighting for second place because it's Harrison Mackey leading? Another one of Mackey's strong points for anyone who's not watched X30 Junior racing this year is here's a move from Archie Owen down the inside of Martinez for second place. It's not just his speed, it's not just the setup, it's not just his ability to turn one lap, as that's another little go there, and Pinheiro got all crossed up. It was Kelleher having a go at Owen. His wheel-to-wheel combat, since pretty much we were here for round one, his start of his season he was a little bit scrappy, but since Zuera, then through Franciacorta, Rakersdorf and Genk, I can't remember someone who's taken Harrison Mackey on in a wheel-to-wheel contest and beaten him.
Yeah.
It's that psychological thing that they've gotten to the front now, and everybody else knows that they're just fighting for second place in one of these heats. Here's another look at Kelleher down the inside of Martinez. Ooh, I think there was a little
big
touch
sideways
there.
moment as well.
And yeah, sideways for Pinheiro. Green starting to come through the field now as well. I think there's going to be a lot of teams in X30 Junior as out of the race, the 103. I think that was one of the karts that was in trouble on the first lap. It's Evan Johnston. Out as well is Leonidas Peruzzi in the 49 for Fusion. There's going to be a lot of head scratching across the field in X30 Junior tonight as to how on earth do you take on Harrison Mackey?
It's going to be a big question, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see what happens, because we're on the final lap of this race, and the battle for second place is definitely on here right now. Archie Owen in control of that fight, but right there behind, Alex Martinez piling on the pressure. Daniel Kelleher just behind as well, who has closed up to this fight right now. Might be the biggest danger here. because it's made the moves in the early stages. Owen's going to go defensive here into the hairpin. Keep an eye on Martinez, keep an eye on Kelleher. Kelleher's taken the wider line there to try and capitalize on the exit at speed. But I don't think he's managed to find a way through. Here comes Martinez down the inside. That is nicely done. Just one of those quick moves down the inside at turn 9. No time wasted, and now Daniel Kelleher's going to find the gap. Through turn number 11, but off the track goes Archie Owen. And is he going to lose more? He is going to lose out on more. He'll be absolutely devastated with that one. But Mackie claims his second win of the weekend, and that is how you do it. And that car, honestly, looks like it's on rails.
Everywhere around this circuit, there's been a tremendous amount of work done by the whole team, and Harrison Mackie behind the wheel is properly delivering the goods here. That's a win by 0.8 of a second. Doesn't matter how big the wins are, just as long as you keep the score on 0 points. That is what Harrison Mackie has achieved overnight. It'll be over to Daniel Motor now to see if Motor can keep his 0 score intact. But Mackie wins. Martinez P2, very good drive from Alex Martinez and Axion Racing, up 10 places in that race. Good drive as well from Daniel Kelleher. Kelleher back on song, up 4 there to 3rd. Alex Pinheiro, yes, has lost his 0 score record, but P4 is a decent result in what's going to be a very competitive X30 junior category here this weekend. Zach Green very much showing that qualifying yesterday was not the reflective pace that Zach Green has here this weekend. Gain of 11 spots into the top 5 for Jamie Green Racing. Green can be satisfied with his work here today.
Certainly so. Well, they will head back to Parc Ferme. Here's a look at the provisional classifications at the end of qualifying Heat C versus F. Mackie claims his second win of the weekend ahead of Alex Martinez, Daniel Kelleher, Alex Pinheiro, Zach Green from Archie Owen, Jack Rettich from Senna Munir. Then Nicholas Garcia from Aston Sharp, Riley Cranham from Toby Gale, Jorn Helder from Matteo Mellis, and George Edgar rounding out the top 15. Samuel Woolley and Vivian Gonet go from 17th and 16th place. And it's Jose Bautista from Nikita Nikashov, who gained 10 places to finish inside the top 20. Vanessa Shilkane rounding out that top 20. Alexis Jeannelet from Scott Riley, Dario Misford and Caden Higgins rounding out the top 24.